Let's learn about lakes, a Girls Lunch production by Abby Lewis. Hi, my name is Abby and I'm a scientist and a student from Virginia Tech. When I was a kid, I used to love playing in water. I loved splashing in puddles and getting my hands dirty in the mud, and I love to swim. And now, as a scientist, I still get to do a lot of those same things. I still love playing in water, and I still love learning about lakes and all of the plants and animals that live in the lake. So I'm here today at one of the places where I do my research. This is the beautiful Falling Creek Reservoir. Have you ever heard of a reservoir? A reservoir is like a lake, except it's made by humans. So this reservoir used to be a river until people built this giant wall or hill that I'm standing on, which is called the dam. And the dam blocks the water from flowing, so it creates a lake right behind it. People build reservoirs for a lot of different reasons. This reservoir is a drinking water reservoir, which means that water from this reservoir can be treated and sent to people's homes where it might come out of their tap when they pour a glass of water. Today, I want to show you some of the work that I do here at Falling Creek Reservoir. I want to introduce you to some of the friends that I do my work with, and I'm going to show you something that you have probably never seen in a lake before. So let's get started. All right, this is one of my friends that I work with at Virginia Tech. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Heather, and I study zooplankton, which are really tiny animals that live in the water.
This is my other friend, Nick, who works with us. Nick, do you want to tell the video a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I study things in the water, in the reservoir, that affect the way it looks and the way it tastes and the quality of the water when it comes out the other side.
And this is my friend, Bethany. Bethany, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hello. I'm Bethany, and I'm a sensor technician. That means I collect information about the reservoir and the weather with electronic doodads and tiny computers, such as with this weather station and this tiny computer right here.
Thanks, Bethany. And last but certainly not least, this is my good friend, Woody. Woody is a crocodile, and he comes with us for all of the research we do. And Woody is a really great scientist because he really likes asking questions. He has a question for you right now. Woody wants to know, if you were going to do research in this lake, what sorts of things would you want to study? Are you interested in plants and animals? Or maybe the water itself? What sorts of things do you like asking questions about? If you ask questions, you're a scientist too. So one of the things I'm really interested in is the mud way down at the bottom of the lake, and we call that the sediment. It's pretty tough to study the sediment because the lake is so deep that you can't swim all the way down there. So instead we use this giant piece of equipment which we call a corer. And the way the corer works is it falls down to the bottom and it's super heavy, so it sinks into the sediment. And so you get, this falls into the sediment and mud pushes up into the tube. And then we're able to pull it back up to the surface, grab it really quickly and trap that mud in it, and we can take a look at it on shore. So let's give it a shot. 3, 2, 1. Woo! But wait! Before you get to see the very bottom of this reservoir, Woody has some questions for you. What do you think the sediment will look like? Do you think it will be runny or solid? What color do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll all be the same color? All right, let's find out. Hey, see if that worked. All right, we did it. Here's our sediment core. So this was collected from the bottom of the lake. There would be sediment all around this, and then the core sticks right in, and you get a profile of what the sediment looks like. And you can see there are layers to it. So at the top, it's kind of orange and brown, and then there's kind of a gray layer here, and at the bottom it turns an even lighter gray, brown. And that's because of the different chemicals in the sediment. So the way sediment works is every year new dirt and leaves and algae and stuff in the water is going to fall to the bottom, and it just keeps adding up. So more will fall on top of this year and next year and next year. And as you look back, you can see what happened in the past, and you can learn about how the lake is now and how it used to be. So I'm going to show you more about this on shore. Catch you in a minute. All right, so this sediment in this tube came from way down at the bottom of that reservoir, further than any of us could swim. And now we get to take a look in real life. So one of the things that I think is cool about the sediment is, you know, sometimes we think of the mud and the water as being completely separate. But in reality, things are moving between the sediment and the water every day. You have dirt and algae that fall into the sediment and add to it, but then you also have things from the sediment that dissolve into the water. So you can think of that sort of like if you add sugar to a drink, it'll dissolve, or if you add lemonade powder or Kool-Aid powder, something like that, it dissolves into the water until you can't see the separate particles anymore. And the same thing happens in lakes. In our research, we find that things in the sediment will dissolve up into the water column, and that can affect how your water tastes and smells and how healthy it is for you. So why don't you come take a look at this? Do you see the fluffiness right at the top there? We're gonna let that run off a little bit so that we can grab onto what's below it. So you can see all of this is still pretty liquidy until you get to, this is so cool, this darker gray mud. And then all of a sudden it's solid and you have a completely different material here. So you can take a look at this, and if you break it open, there are little bits of rock in here. Sometimes you can find leaves. And that's because leaves will fall down all the way to the bottom of the reservoir, and they'll get stuck in the sediment where they can stay for a really long time. And then scientists, like all of us, can go back and we can look and we can learn things about how the lake was in the past and how it is now, and how that affects the quality of our drinking water. So cool! Alright, that's all for today. I hope you learned a little bit about water and reservoirs and sediment. I hope you had some fun. I sure did. I hope you keep asking wonderful questions. Thanks so much for listening. Heather! She squirted me with water! Bye, Nick!
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Bethany.
Bye!
Bye, Heather.